Hi, I'm Ben. I've been working with machine learning and neural networks for most of my working life, in fact. Back in 2017, a lot of those models could do quite basic things, but now with transformers and new models, they're having an enormous impact on B2B marketing. I'll start sharing my screen, but I've been creating this model where a personal AI system, which I'm building and have built to show the impact of this. It's taken all of my years and years of strategy documents, positioning documents, everything I know basically about B2B marketing, and put them into this chat. So the way I've done that is I've basically started with creating a sort of a vector DB database by breaking everything into chunks that I know and then embedding it properly so that you can search it properly. So when I ask, for example, when I ask it something, it's not hallucinating, it's actually doing what it's supposed to do. An example is, I'll show you an example now. So something like, there we go. How does B2B marketing actually work? And this is something, it'll take a minute to work out, but what it's actually doing here is essentially it's a sort of RAG, retrieval-augmented generation, but rather than it just being based on general knowledge and what you can search for on Google, it's based on my knowledge of all the stuff I've done over the years. So if we just wait a second for the deep thought, whatever, to work its way through, it will come back with an answer. There we go. So as it's saying, B2B marketing is basically a long, messy process, trying to get into buyers' consideration sets. It's very complicated, it's very non-linear, there's lots of facts here and so on, but I think the really, really important point to say about this is this isn't just generic what you get off the internet. There's a lot here about what's the role. The flywheel model is very, very important. These different stages of the flywheel model that you have to engage with. There's a lot about getting permission to market and things like that. And I think for me, that sort of detail, complexity, and thoroughness is what makes great B2B marketing. Of course, there's a lot here about account-based marketing, demand gen, and so on. And sales enablement, often forgotten, but unless you can enable the salespeople, they're not actually going to be able to do their job or represent what you think is the valuable proposition. So that's why it's really important to understand buyer journeys, and it really, really matters, and the importance of a complex B2B sales approach requires the marketing to go with it. There we go. Thank you very much. And this is what I think the new stage of AI enables, really. Private systems grounded in your knowledge rather than just the generic world out there.